back on the East Coast. It's Ray 360. New York City right behind me. I'm in town for just a couple days, but I want to take you around to some of my favorite spots in this phenomenal city. Let's get into it. I tell you, the sound of ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars is music to my ears. As a kid from Brooklyn, that was actually how I went to sleep. That right there, instant lullaby. In true Ray 360 fashion, I let my belly guide me to the first stop, which is an absolute New York institution, serving up mouth-watering deli classics for over 120 years. Located in the heart of Lower East Side, this is Katzs Deli, famously known for its legendary pastrami sandwich. There is no shortage of places to satisfy art lovers in New York, and while you have iconic establishments like the Met and MoMA, I like to veer off to the non-traditional. Welcome to the Banksy Expo, an immersive exhibition into the mysterious universe of infamous British artist Banksy. Featuring over 80 works of art, the expo guides visitors through his unique, non-conformist perspective on the world, and also includes a virtual reality experience that walks you through the streets of Bristol to see his animations come to life. I highly recommend visiting this while you still have a chance. Okay, so now that we've worked up an appetite yet again, you simply cannot visit New York without sampling the city's famous delicacy. Now for a quick slice on the go, my favorite spots are Pizza Suprema and Joe's Pizza in Manhattan, while DeFara and L&B make the journey to Brooklyn worthwhile. But at the top of the list, with the best pie in New York, it's none other than John's of Bleecker, which has been serving coal-fired pie since 1929. Okay, I'm not much of a sweet tooth, but when it comes to cookies, Levain has taken the throne in the city by storm for 25 years with its softball-sized 6-ounce cookies that can feed a small village. While they offer 4 classic flavors, my personal favorite is their best-selling chocolate chip walnut for the perfect balance of sweet, nutty, gooey yet crispy. Oh yeah! Feeding New York residents and tourists with mouth-watering Middle Eastern food on the go for over 50 years is Mamoun's Falafel, with its original location in the heart of Greenwich Village.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
We're not finished yet.
And while its falafel is legendary, my recommendation is the shawarma, thinly sliced lamb cooked low and slow on a rotisserie with Mediterranean spices. Hits the spot, but easy on the wallet, an absolute NYC staple. Here in the heart of Chelsea, we're at the Art Tech House for an art exhibit like no other. This is Machine Hallucination. Exploring New York through the mind of a machine. Machine Hallucination is a time and space exhibit of New York, by New York, and for New York. This immersive exhibit will have you feeling like you're in the Matrix and is one of the most unique art destinations and things to do in the city. Being in New York City between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, it's a special time of year, and actually one of my favorite times to be in the city. Between the Christmas decorations and the holiday spirit, everybody's really just in a cheerful, spirited mood. The smell of warm chestnuts and hot pretzels in the air. It's just a magical time to be here in the city. Of course, it would not be Christmas without a visit to iconic Rockefeller Center to see the majestic tree. Bundle up and be prepared for crowds. That's my advice whenever you visit Midtown in New York City during the Christmas season. But again, that's also part of the charm. So grab a cup of hot cocoa and a hot pretzel and make yourself at home. No relation. Times Square may catch a bad rap because it's labeled as touristic, but frankly, that is the charm and that's the draw. It's the reason why millions of visitors a week show up here. Now, I normally wouldn't advocate for too many restaurants here in Times Square because, quite frankly, they are a bit of a tourist trap. But the one place that you could always count on is Carmine's for family-style Italian. Reservations are highly, highly recommended here. Several months in advance, actually. Otherwise, be prepared for a wait list that could take upwards of 2.5 to 3 hours. And if the crowds on the sidewalk are a little bit too much for you, there's always jaywalking. make sure you've got your head on a swivel when it comes to walking these streets. And if you don't know, you're gonna learn today. No visit to New York City would be complete without a trip to a classic New York City steakhouse. And there's no better in New York City, and in fact, probably in the country, than Peter Luger's, which has been around since 1887. When it comes to Christmas decorations, no place does it bigger or better than Brooklyn. And within Brooklyn, Dyker Heights is where it's over the top. And Dyker Heights is a tiny affluent community within Bensonhurst, not too far from actually where I grew up. In fact, I went to Dyker Heights Junior High School. And this was an area, as a kid growing up, it was always a magical time to see all these residential properties come to life in that true holiday spirit. And now, many years later, to see it to this extent is just mind-boggling. In fact, they have guided tours now and tour buses that drop people off at this community. As you can see around me, it's actually fairly busy here. So if you want to come celebrate Christmas the Brooklyn way, make sure you check out Dyker Heights Christmas lights. Well, that wraps up my 2 days in NYC over the holidays. And while 48 hours is never enough time to scratch below the surface, especially for a city like New York, I hope this little sampling of my favorite hometown spots gave you a bit of an appetizer, whether you're a local or from out of town. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for future updates and adventures as I show you around some of my favorite destinations. That's it for me, folks. I'm Ray360. Peace.